Hi guys, it is Scanner here. Just a very quick Monday video for you. A big conversation I'm seeing going on at the moment in the community is around Kill Team and what is seen as a consistent flaw in Games Workshop, where they will stop supporting something and move on to something else. In this case, they're going to stop supporting the original Kill Team and move on to the Kill Team 2.0, I guess the Octarius version of the game. Now, lots of people will have invested quite a bit of money on Kill Team. They'll have all sorts of rule books. You will have the core book, the elites book, the commanders book. I think I've got another book floating around as well. Basically a multitude of stuff that people might have bought into. You'll have bought miniatures and set them up in certain configurations for certain fire teams based off the rules of the game. And now all of a sudden Games Workshop is telling you that to play Space Marines a certain way in Kill Team Octarius, that you need a certain type of squad built from a certain number of units that are a certain type of loadout, and so on and so forth. And yes, it is undoubtedly a pain in the bum. There's really no way around this. This is one of the major flaws of games and will remain so until somebody gets a little smarter with how exactly they do rule books, or at the very least how they do PDFs and stuff like that. Now, it's less of an issue for companies out there, and there are many companies who do this, who give away their rules for free. For many companies, it's one of the ways that they actually lure people in, is they make these rule books available for free. You can just download them from their website. For example, I've been reading The Drowned Earth. Been reading their rules absolutely for free. I just downloaded the PDF and I really do like them, and I will purchase the rulebook, because one thing you're going to figure out from watching this video, I hope, is that I really love physical rulebooks. I'm a huge fan of them. You can see the old Inquisitor rulebook on the screen right now, but I love printed rulebooks. Always have, always will. I will buy them sometimes even if I'm not going to play the game. I just love rule systems. I can't help it. I like statistics, and I'm a bit of a geek in that sense, so it appeals to me to own the rulebook sometimes. But as I was saying, with regards to Kill Team, yes, effectively they're dropping support for the first version of the game. However, that game has been fairly well supported, sometimes in good ways and sometimes in bad ways. This can't be denied. But it has been reasonably well supported over the years that it was, for sale and part of the live Games Workshop ecosystem, and you can simply stay playing it. I think sometimes people forget this, and you want to point it out to them on social media or somewhere like that, but it's almost impossible to do it in a way that doesn't come off as smarmy. But you can simply stay playing an older system if you want to, especially when support for that system has literally just dropped off. As in, you can still get miniatures for absolutely everything within that system, and you can do so relatively easily. I will use this Inquisitor book and the next book that's about to come up as perfect examples of how it gets a little bit more difficult. But if you want to play Inquisitor, you are looking at getting into either a system called INQ28, which is Inquisitor scaled down to 28mm, which is the current active kind of scale of Games Workshop stuff. Or the book that's about to drop up is More Time. It's just impossible to get the rules or to get the relevant miniatures for many of the factions. For Inquisitor, if you want to play normal Inquisitor, you will need to get your hands on 54mm proxies for these models and make a load of 54mm terrain and stuff like this. It's a hard life out there sometimes for people who like these old systems, and I do like these old systems. I actually like Inquisitor so much that it is a goal of mine, probably as a 20 or 25k sub celebration on the channel. I will make 2 full teams of Inquisitor and a full terrain table, and me and my wife, we're going to scrap it out in the grim darkness of the far future at 54mm scale. It's definitely one of the long-term goals for the channel. So, where am I actually going with this? I'm definitely not trying to diminish people's right to complain about Games Workshop. I think as a fan of Games Workshop for 3 decades or so, one of the things you buy, one of the things you literally pay for with Games Workshop is the right to moan about them. It's, I believe, a very vital and important part of the hobby. I think everyone is entitled to do it. I think there's definitely tonal issues sometimes with people out there who want to complain about things. I think perhaps people need to consider carefully their words. Remember that these are people that we are talking about with regards to designing these systems and making these decisions. And it's important to keep all that stuff in mind. But at any time I want to, I can turn around and I can grab my Inquisitor book or my Mordheim book or my Epic 40k books, my Warhammer Fantasy Battle books, my classic Necromunda books, whatever it might be, and I can just play those systems. I don't need them to be actively supported by Games Workshop to be able to do that. Now, here's where I'm going to break out a word that drives lots of people crazy, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm aware that my opinion on this comes from a reasonable place of privilege where I have the cash to do these things. I'm not playing one kill team for 3 years and then suddenly finding that system that I've liked and has distracted me from maybe some of the worst days in my life whipped out from under me because all local competitions or stores are going to move on to the new system. I'm aware that there's definitively a subset of any hobby who will be negatively impacted by any change within that hobby. I know this, and I'm really don't want to dismiss the concerns of people like that. But I do feel that they would still be capable of getting games together with other people who wanted to play those older systems with them. And I think that would certainly be doable. So I just wish people would kind of keep that in mind. Yes, sometimes it sucks that the hobby moves on without us, but that's the nature of the hobby. The good news is, in this modern world of the internet, there's PDFs of just about everything you could think of out there. I have a Mordheim rulebook, but I guarantee you that anybody out there who wants a Mordheim rulebook can just go find a PDF of it, more than likely, without any major issue. And you can probably do that with just about anything. And then you can jump onto Etsy or any of the multitude of miniature gaming companies, and you can make up any kind of miniature that you want. I have, on the way from Bulgaria, some of the most beautiful little Ratman models I've ever seen in my life, and I can't wait for them to arrive because they're going to be my Mordheim Skaven gang. I'm putting together a Mordheim table as well. I'm just getting back into the hobby. I'm going to be exploring all the old systems as well as the new ones. But once again, that does come from a spot of being able to afford to do this, and I'm aware of that too. But yeah, that's really, I think, an important thing that people forget is you purchase these models and these miniatures and these rule systems from these companies, but they're not the arbiters or keepers of that hobby. You are. And they will eventually want to move on and sell version 2.0 of whatever it is that you purchased. That's almost inevitable within the hobby space that we enjoy and like to spend our time in. It's really up to you to decide which aspects of that you wish to engage in and which aspects of it you want to stay purchasing stuff for and which ones you just want to let slide on by. Or if you do actually love a system enough to hold on to a book for that system through 3 decades, 17 house moves, 7 different jobs, probably 4 or 5 different relationships, major life moments. Like, are you going to keep all that stuff? Does it really mean that much to you? If it does, you'll keep it. And if it does, you'll find yourself at the age of 40 making a YouTube video planning on putting all this stuff together and playing the game again with your wife. These things have more value to us than the simple instant gratification that you might be writing them off as now. And remember that in the future, before you kind of lose your mind completely with a company who has made something that you enjoyed and just remove it from your life in a fit of pique. You could end up regretting that. Think about that before you sell your armies or all your books and all the rest of it. So that's it for this video, guys. Once again, just a little rambly one. The part 2 of the alternatives video, the alternatives to Games Workshop games, will be coming tomorrow or the day after. This will be filled with community recommendations that have caught my eye, and I'm really looking forward to getting some thoughts and feedback on this video. So as always, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you're having a great day.